Okay, the next thing that's driving me nuts is the heater fan.
Me and the boys was sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. Then we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more party tonight.
Let's see if we can't do something to improve that. So if I turn the power on and turn on the blower, hear how that's squealing? Let's take it out and see if we can't lube it up and get it to run quieter than that. Alright, let's see what we got to do here to take this out. It's not that size. Ah, it's that one. Whatever size that is. Looks like quarter. I think, what do we got? 1, 2, 3. Looks like six of these bolts here. Take these out. I'll drop them in there, I suppose. Of course, there's a steel bar right in the way. See if I can get to it from this side. Ah, yep, looks like I can get to it from that side. Okay, I think there are 2 left. And 1 to go. Now, if I remember from before, I also have to loosen up this bar, or take that bar off to be able to slide this out, because the fan is pretty big and it won't go far enough if you don't. And you don't want to take the one off at the firewall, because that just doesn't make things easy. Oh, and there's a ground wire here that you got to remember. And I believe this should just pull apart. So, yep. So there's the 2 wires. See, it just doesn't have enough room. So the next step is to take this. Can you guys see it? That nut out. What size do you think that is? 1/2 inch? Oh, here's a 7/16. Nope, it's definitely 1/2 inch. See it there. I lose it? Or did I leave it in here somewhere? Ah, found it. And there goes the heater. All right. Okay, this dashboard brace has a 1/2-inch bolt and a big washer and a nut on the back side. And we'll just stick that in there. Now, you can bend that out of the way and the fan comes out. Hey, now let's take this over the bench and see if we can quiet it down. Alright, to take the blade off, there's an Allen key that needs to be removed. And let's see if I can get on it. It looks like you can get to it between the blades. So loosen that up, and that comes straight off. So that was easy enough. Now on the back side, there are 2 nuts. It looks like that was an 1/8-inch Allen. Let's see what size those nuts are. Yep, looks like 3/8. Let's take that off. Heated up in here enough that that shut off. Okay, there's the 2 nuts, and this back cover comes off. Oop, and there's a washer here. And there's another lock washer there, so don't lose those, like I almost did. Alright, now here's your electric motor. Is there a way to disassemble this? Or take it apart? Or, well, I guess you could take these nuts off now to take it apart. And those 3/8 nuts are a little bit smaller or harder to get to, so let's get a deep socket. Boy, those are hard to get onto. Even with that deep socket. How do I get on that? Huh. They almost seem like they're smaller than 3/8. Let me grab a smaller wrench than 3/8 and see if the 11/32 doesn't grab it better. 11/32. That's the ticket. Gonna loosen that up. There we go. And then we'll get an 11/32 deep socket instead of a 3/8. Oh, there we go. Now once it's loosened up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart and see if we can't lube it up to make it easier to, or quieter. Because I hate the way this thing is so noisy. Oh, hey. After you loosen it up a little bit, then that falls out. So you got to hold it. Alright, the 11/32 nut comes off. And there's a washer behind that. Just a little bitty washer. And then the one on the other side. Then I think we can pull these two bolts out. They're a little rusty. Then I would believe this thing just splits apart somehow. Or is it rusted completely together? It's starting to slide apart. Let me get a tiny screwdriver and see if I can't peel it apart with that. There, it's coming. All right. Bit rusty and crusty, but let's see if we can't. So there's the brushes. They look like they're okay. Does the backside come free? Or can we lube this up somehow to quiet it down? All right, let's try something. What might happen if I hook up 12 volts to this thing? Does it have to be hooked up? There's negative. There's positive. I don't think it likes going without that bearing. That bearing in there. Is that bearing the one that's squealing? Oh, there's a washer on the back side of that bearing. And that bearing does not turn. So is it a bearing or is that just a shim? Let's do this. Let's take it and lube it with some oil. What do I got for oil? I got some 3-in-1. Let's put a little 3-in-1 in there. And let's go get a rag. Try to clean this thing up. Oh yeah, it's pretty grimy. Let's clean up the shaft too while we're at it. Okay, and then what? Drop of oil there. Drop of oil there. A washer like it was. Put this thing back together. Alright, now let's see what it does. See if it's quieter. Sounds a lot quieter. Well, shall we put her back together? See if that quiets the whole thing down just by oiling up and cleaning up that shaft and that bearing spot there. We need to probably clean that bolt up too. It's pretty rusty. There, that looks a lot better. Now we slip that back through here. Pop back in. Alright. Let's do the same thing for this other bolt. we'll slide the other one back in. Like so. Then we'll put on the washer and the nut. And then another washer and another nut. This one's a little bit snugger. There it goes. Threads are a little messed up from the 3/8 nut that holds the whole thing together. And there we go. Nice and snug. Nice and snug. Try it again. Alright, sounds like it's running a lot quieter than it was. Okay, now we'll put on the back plate, stringing the 2 wires through that hole. Then we got a lock washer and a nut. And another lock washer and another nut. Using the 3/8 wrench. Snug everything down. Alright. And I think the reason why they have this thing here go to one of, like, to that wire, or to that screw hole, is because when this thing has this insulation in here, it doesn't get grounded. So you got to put this wire, you know, to get a good ground to the chassis. Alright, next thing is the fan blade. That needs to go back on. And we're going to give it a little bit of a gap so that it doesn't rub. And snug that down. Alright, let's go put it back in the truck and see if we don't have a good fan. A quiet fan now. Alright, let's put this thing back in. So this thing goes in here like something like that. I wonder if these holes make a difference where you line them up at. Are they evenly spaced? Let's take a closer look at it. I don't know. They all seem to be fairly evenly placed. Let's hope they are. And let's put the wires kind of on the back side a little bit. And then let's grab one of these and see if we can't get it started. Is that a hole? Wait, let's see. It's got to go into that hole. Ah! Shall we just start the easiest one? How about that? Which one did I say it was? 1/8 inch? Which one was the, what color was 1/8? Do you remember? It's not that one. It's not that one. Or 1/4. That's what I said it was. It was the red one. Okay, I got one started. Now let's see if I can get a second one started. That one looks like it'll go right there. Maybe. Okay. That's 2. Now let's see. Someplace in here should be another one. Oh no! I dropped it. Yeah, we'll get it later. You know how hell it is to go find things. It's someplace underneath the seat, but we're going to hook up this ground strap first, because that's the most difficult one of these. Can you start? No. Okay. There's not a hole to put that through. So these aren't evenly spaced. Take it back out. And I dropped another one. There's 1, there's 2. Alright, let's rotate it to the next group of holes. That one looks like it might go. If I remember right, it was extremely difficult to get this back in because of the way The ground strap is on the back side of this thing where you can't really see it. Come on, you can start. All right, there's that one. Then we'll put a second one in just to kind of hold it in place. Finger tight's plenty good. Now the blind one with the lock or the star washer on it. Come on, get in there. All right, now I got the ground wire in place. Come on, find a hole. No, tell me it's not there. All right, I'm gonna go try something else. Let me go get something. To see if I can find the hole. All right, there's definitely one there. There's definitely one there. There's definitely one there. There isn't one there. Okay, I need to probably put one in down here just to get things lining up. Not snug, just there. Okay. Now there's one here, and there should be one there. All right. And there should be one there. All right, so that one's there. So I should be able to put this in here now. I've got 3 of them in place. Get in there. Oh, you can't tell me where it is. There it is. Aha. I think I got it. Now if I could get started. Which I just did. Woohoo! Okay. Now there's 2 to go, and one of them's underneath this seat somewhere in the abyss. So let's get this other one started first. That's the toughest one. Alright, there we go. That one's going. Now, let's see if I can find that other one. Where did it disappear to? Under the seat somewhere. I'll be back in a few minutes when I find that one. Okay guys, after a few minutes digging around, I found it. Let's put the last one in. Okay, now all we have to do is snug all these up. you're left-handed, it's a lot easier than if you're right-handed like me. Just to let you know. It's a bit of a pain. Doing this with your left hand if you're right-handed. All right, get in there. All right, there we go. That's locked down. Now I got to put this bar back for the dash. Relatively simple. It just goes straight through there. Nut goes on top. If you can hold on to it with tip of two fingers. There we go. Alright, give the dash a little snugging down. Once that's done, there's one thing left to do. And that's hook the power up and see if she works. And see if it's a lot quieter than it used to be. Alright, there's the dash. There's the power. Got to hook these two things together. And we'll just wrap that around that bar again so it's kind of out of the way. And then the next thing is firing the hole, right, guys? Oh, much quieter. What do you guys think? A lot less squealy? Check out what it sounded like before. Hear how that's squealing? And now check out what it sounds like now. Little squeal at the end, but still it's a lot quieter. Alright guys, talk to you later.
Me and the boys was sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. Then we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more party tonight.